pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder to the public, if you wish to speak on an agenda item tonight, you must first raise your hand and be recognized by the chair. Upon being recognized, please state your name and address. On all agenda items, except for open forum, each member of the public wishing to speak on a topic will be allowed to speak one time each for a period of up to 3 minutes. Speakers should direct comments to the boards, not to the audience. Speakers shall not interrupt the proceeding of the public body, nor speak out of turn.
All right. Thanks, Marcus.
Yeah.
The first item on the agenda tonight is a public hearing, and we're going to open that at 7:01 p.m. It's for the purpose of hearing testimony concerning a replat of Tax Lot 1 and Tax Lot 2, located in the south half of Section 17, Township 10 North, Range 9 East of the 6th Principal Meridian, Cass County, Nebraska. Okay. Any public comment tonight? Looks like we have the property owners here if there's any questions. So, Planning Commission met on this one on September 18th. It was all approved. You'll notice as we get down in the agenda, there's going to be a number of waivers that we have listed that we'll take a vote on those individually. Any public comment?
I don't necessarily have comments, but I do have questions about the CDBG grant. Would you guys rather wait until we get there? Or?
Oh, yeah, this is just, yeah.
This is a public hearing for a check.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yep,
sorry.
nope, you're good.
We're not quite down there yet.
Okay, okay.
Nothing? All right. We'll close that one at 7:02 p.m. And then we will have a second public hearing here for the purpose of hearing testimony concerning an application for a change of zoning and amendment of the Eagle zoning map from Ag to RE residential estates for Lot 1, which is a replat of Tax Lot 1 and 2 located in the south half of Section 17, Township 10 North, Range 9 East of the 6th Principal Meridian, Cass County, Nebraska. And we'll open that public hearing at 7:03 p.m. Any questions, comments on that one? Again, the Planning Commission met the night of the 18th and recommended approval. Nothing? All right,
Closing that one.
close that one up. Public hearing number 3, for the purpose of hearing testimony concerning an application for change of zoning and amendment of the Eagle zoning map from Ag to RE residential estates for Tax Lot 38, located in the northwest quarter of Section 19, Township 10 North, Range 9 East of the 6th Principal Meridian, Cass County, Nebraska. We'll open that one up at 7:04 p.m. And the Planning Commission met on this one on September 29th, 2025. There's also an administrative plat that goes with this one, which is part of the zoning change. One of the parcels is going to fall for 10 acres. And Dan's here if you have any questions back there, but otherwise, any comment on that one from the public or the board? Nada, huh? Okay. Close that one. And that'll bring us to agenda item number 1. I got those public hearings done. Discuss possible action, consider approval of the following preliminary plat waiver requests as part of the replat of Tax Lot 1 and Tax Lot 2, south half of Section 17, Township 10 North, Range 9 East of the 6th Principal Meridian, Cass County, Nebraska. There were, how many? 8 preliminary plat waivers. And in your packet, you should have just a little memo there on the granting of waivers. They may be granted from the provisions of the Eagle subdivision regulations, but only after determining those 3 conditions. Number 1, there are unique circumstances or conditions affecting the property that are not the result of actions by the subdivider. Number 2, the waivers are necessary for the reasonable and acceptable development of the property in question. And number 3, the granting of waivers will not be detrimental to the public or injurious to adjacent and nearby properties. So as you go through these, if you'll do them one by one, and you'll make a motion to accept these, move a motion to accept these. And just note that they meet those 3 criteria.
Do we have to do them one by one?
Yes.
Okay. Since I just want to make sure.
So I'll let you guys have from here. A is waiver number 1, requiring existing and proposed grades be shown. And if you look at there, there's no new development being proposed, there's no mass grading to be done.
I'll motion to approve.
A second.
Calling roll.
Any discussion? No? Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 1, requiring existing and proposed grades to be shown as the 3 conditions granting waiver have been met. Voting on that, John,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. B is waiver number 2, requiring phasing lines and a phasing schedule. Again, no new development is being proposed here.
Motion to approve waiver number 2.
Second.
Discussion on that? Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 2, requiring phasing lines and a phasing schedule, if the 3 conditions have been met. Voting on that, Dan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item C, waiver number 3, requiring the width and location of platted streets and other physical features of the property. Again, no new development is being proposed, no streets, utilities, or sewers are being proposed.
Motion to approve waiver number 3.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 3, requiring the width and location of platted streets and other physical features of the property, as all 3 conditions have been met. John,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Item D is waiver 4, requiring draft copies of the subdivision agreement. Well, it's just going to be a single family home and lot 2 will remain farmland. There will be no subdivision agreement for this property.
Motion to approve waiver number 4.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 4 has met all 3 conditions. John,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item E, waiver number 5, requiring an erosion control plan. No new development, no mass grading.
Motion to approve waiver number 5.
Second.
Further discussion. Voting on the motion second to accept waiver number 5, requiring an erosion control plan, as all 3 conditions have been met. Dan,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item F, waiver 6, requiring a traffic impact analysis study. Again, no new development, no changes in traffic.
Motion to approve number 6.
Second.
Further discussion? None. Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 6, as all 3 conditions have been met. John,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item G, waiver 7, requiring engineering plans and studies, such as water distribution, sanitary sewer, street profile, and all that stuff. So again, kind of the same thing. No utilities proposed, no new streets, no.
Motion to approve waiver number 7.
I'll second.
Further discussion. Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 7, requiring engineering plans and studies, as all 3 conditions have been met. John,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Item H, waiver 8, requiring a drainage plan. Same business, no mass grading.
Motion.
development.
Motion to approve waiver number 8.
Second.
Further discussion. Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 8, as all three conditions have been met. Dan?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Motion carried on that. Now you're on item number 2, which is to discuss possible action, consider approval of the following final plat waiver request for the same property, which is replat of tax lot 1. In tax lot 2, located in the south half of section 17, township 10 north, range and east of the 6th Prince Meridian, Cass County, Nebraska. So the first one we have is waiver number 1, which is requiring estimated costs and financial assumptions for SID connection fees. Well, this isn't going to be an SID, so under development.
Motion to approve number 1 on the final plat waiver.
Second.
Further discussion. Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 1 for final plat waivers, as all three conditions have been met. Dan?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Item B, waiver 2, requiring financial data showing costs of public improvements. There will be no public improvements.
Motion to approve waiver number 2.
Second.
Further discussion. Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 2, requiring financial data showing cost of public improvements. As all three conditions have been met. John?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item C, waiver number 3, requiring a bond, escrow, or security agreement for required improvements. Same story. Under development.
Motion to approve waiver number 3.
I'll second.
Further discussion. Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 3, as all three conditions have been met. Voting on that. Dan?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Motion carried. And the last waiver is number 4, requiring a drainage plan.
Motion to approve waiver number 4.
I'll second.
Further discussion. Voting on the motion second to approve waiver number 4, requiring a drainage plan, as all three conditions have been met. John?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Motion carried. That puts us down to item number 3, which is approval of that replat of tax lot 1 and tax lot 2, located in the south half of section 17, township 10 north, range 9 east of the 6th Principal Meridian, Cass County, Nebraska. As part of the replat process, you'll see the preliminary plat application and a map, final plat application and a map. Planning Commission approved this at their meeting on the 18th.
Motion to approve the replat of tax lot 1 and tax lot 2 and the south half of section 17.
Second.
Any further discussion on that one? There was a vote in the motion second to approve the replat of tax lot 1 and tax lot 2, located in the south half of section 17, township 10 north, range 9 east of the 6th Principal Meridian, Cass County, Nebraska. Voting, Dan.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 4 is discuss possible action. First reading of ordinance 2025-04, which is approval of a zoning change from ag to RE for lot 1, replat of tax lot 1 and tax lot 2, located in the south half of section 17, township 10 north, range 9 east of the 6th Principal Meridian, Cass County, Nebraska.
Motion to introduce ordinance 2025-04.
Second.
Sorry, just catching up. All right, got a motion introduced. Any discussion, comments yet? Voting on the motion to introduce ordinance 2025-04. John?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2025-04 is an ordinance of the Village of Eagle, Cass County, Nebraska, to amend the official zoning map of the village pertaining to the following described real estate, to wit, lot 1, replat of tax lot 1 and tax lot 2 located in south half of section 17. Township 10 north, range 9 east of the 6th principal meridian, Cass County, Nebraska, from ag to RE, to provide that the chair and the appropriate department, whether one or more of the Village of Eagle, are authorized and directed to implement this ordinance, to provide for the severability of any section, clause, or provision or portion found unconstitutional or invalid, to provide for the repeal of all ordinances in conflict herewith, to provide that this ordinance shall be published within the first 15 days after its passage and approval, either in pamphlet form or by posting in 3 public places in the village, and shall be in full force and take effect from and after its passage, approval, and publication as provided herein. Okay, this is the property we've been talking a lot about with the waivers over there. Any questions on that, or do we have a motion for to accept the first reading?
A motion to accept the first reading.
I'll second. Further discussion? Voting on the motion second to accept the first reading of ordinance 2025-04. John?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Motion carried. Just so everybody knows that's here tonight, the ordinance, we only have 3 board members tonight, so we can't suspend the rules, so we'll have to have this back on the next meeting, which is October 20th, but we're moving in the right direction. So we got your first approval done.
If we have 4 of us here and it's unanimous, then we can suspend the rules and it'll be adopted. So
We're short staffed tonight.
So you got the 25th is the final one then?
Well, we'd like,
Depends on who shows up the next
we'd
one.
like to
for
think
sure.
so, yeah.
We have
Technically,
4 people.
The 20th.
It's the 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same will go for Dan's back there and we get his, so. All right, we'll leave it at that, and we'll have the next reading at the October 20th meeting. Brings us to item 5, which is discuss possible action, first reading of ordinance 2505, approval of the zoning change from ag to RE for tax lot 38 in the northwest quarter of section 19, township 10 north, range 9 east of 6th principal meridian, Cass County, Nebraska.
motion to introduce ordinance 2025-05.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Voting on the motion second to introduce ordinance 2505. Dan?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 2505 is an ordinance of the Village of Eagle, Cass County, Nebraska, to amend the official zoning map of the Village of Eagle pertaining to the following described real estate, to wit: tax lot 38, located in the northwest quarter of section 19, township 10 north, range 9 east, 6th principal meridian, Cass County, Nebraska, from ag to RE, to provide the chair and the appropriate department, whether one or more of the Village of Eagle, are authorized and directed to implement this ordinance, to provide for the severability of any section, clause, or provision or portion found unconstitutional or invalid, to provide for the repeal of all ordinances in conflict herewith, to provide that this ordinance shall be published within the first 15 days after its passage and approval, either in pamphlet form or posting in 3 public places in the Village of Eagle, and shall be in full force and take effect from and after its passage, approval, and publication as provided herein.
Motion to accept that first reading of ordinance 2025-05.
Second.
Further discussion on that one? Otherwise, voting on the motion second to accept the first reading of ordinance 2505. John?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Motion carried. And Dan back there will have the second reading on October 20th. So you guys are more than welcome to stay, otherwise you guys are all taken care of for now. So
Thank you.
thank you. Item number 6, report from law enforcement. None here. Nobody's here. I got the report yet in your packets. Not a whole lot of activity. There must have been a stolen vehicle in town over the weekend, because they reached out to me to see if we had any footage down at the park. I believe we do have some, so I'll share that with them as soon as they stop in and take a look.
I heard they stole it. 2 kids stole it. and then emptied the contents out.
They're kind of dumping it as they drove, yeah.
Uh,
I'm assuming keys left in it probably, which we don't want to do.
no.
All right, any questions for law enforcement that I can
The only
pass
thing
along?
you can relay on my behalf is, hey, the golf cars are running around at night after dark, and that violates our ordinance. Now, they probably are not in town, but they should be on their eye for that regardless.
It violates state law.
Either way, it's,
Yeah.
they should be on the lookout for that.
Okay, I will send a memo to Sorensen team. Anything else? Public stuff, no? Item 7, report from building and zoning administrator.
Shall have my September report. Any questions or anything?
Don't sound like it, right?
Nope. Open forum. On to the next 8, open forum.
Open forum, this is for, you need a little note on there? Or not? I don't know, I can keep it with us. Open forum, you guys.
I had a question about a claim, and I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up now or when you talk about the claims list, because
Oh.
the property was purchased, but nothing was put on record what was gonna happen. And I'm wondering what was decided for that.
She's talking about the,
Yeah, the property,
Yeah.
the auction.
yep, it was purchased, by the village. We had a closed session that evening, and, the village clerk and then the deputy clerk went up to Plattsmouth. We were given a number not to exceed, and we actually got it for the opening bid.
As of now, there's no plans for it,
But you
really.
do not have a deed yet
No,
because you have to wait for a confirmation sale hearing, so until we have a deed, I don't think that they'll have to put it on an agenda to discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Do you guys want me to ask my questions or wait until the number 12?
is it just about number 12?
Yeah, it's just about 12. And you might, I mean, you guys might answer some of them too, so.
We can wait.
That I,
Probably.
yeah, that I listen
If
and
it's
see what you
not-
guys said first, okay.
Sounds good.
I just don't wanna be interrupting or anything.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Nothing else for open forum? Number 9, discuss possible action updates on the new fire and rescue station facility.
Maureen, you want to go first, or what you got on? How do we want to tackle this?
Talked to Brian McIntosh today, finally. The proposal that I made that I told you guys about, I think it was in August, went in front of the World Board. Brian tells me that they had no changes to the general provisions. The part that we had not talked through was the termination section. This is unusual a little bit because the proposal is that we're going to be leasing this property basically with a triple net lease towards purchase of the property from Eagle Facilities and Grounds Association, which owns the property now, once it's subdivided for the fire station property. And we're both going to be contributing, both entities are going to be contributing towards the payment of the bond that the rural is going to be getting. And so, typically you need to have some sort of terms for what happens if people just don't get along, right? You have to have a termination plan. And so Ryan and I talked about that in section 6 of this agreement. There are several different ways you can terminate. The first one generally is if a party breaches the contract, doesn't follow through with an obligation that they have to the other party. And that could be anything from not contributing towards the bond to not contributing toward back or not contributing towards the reimbursements from the management request, those types of things. So our discussion was on that, to make it difficult on the party that's breaching so that it gives them incentive not to breach the contract. And so the proposal is that they have a cure period, of course. If they're not doing anything, they have 30 days to cure their breach, get paid up, whatever it is. Also, this doesn't happen very often, but you never know what can happen in the world. If you had an insolvency or a bankruptcy, if you had a municipal bankruptcy or something that they couldn't pay, that would be a cause for a breach or failure to maintain insurance, things like that. So the proposal is that in the event of termination, the breaching party, the one that's in the wrong basically, shall be compensated by the non-breaching party. In other words, they will be bought out on the agreement at an amount equal to 50% of the principal paid into the construction loan at that time. So they're going to pay, you're not going to get 100% of your credit, you'll get 50%. And that's only if we're still paying on the bond. So this would only happen if we're paying on the bond, because once we pay off the bond, the triple net lease is going to allow Eagle and the rural to own the building and the land underneath it by deed. They'll own it, they'll co-own it. At that point, we have a different proposal for that. So that's the proposal there. Termination for convenience is another reason. If one party, and I wouldn't think it would be the village, but I'm making it even. If one party wanted to leave the arrangement, say the rural changes dramatically, we have a lot of new houses, and they want to build at a different location, and they want to walk away from the building and just terminate it. The terminating party in that case would be compensated by the non-terminating party the same thing, that 50%, that lower figure of their contribution. And it also will continue, you'll get to pay it over time in either case, over the time up to when the bond will be paid off. So it's going to be amortized over the remaining term of the bond, set at a low AFR rate based on the length. So if it was a midterm AFR or up to 9 years, if we only had 9 years left, it'd be a midterm. If it was longer, it'd be long term. If it was shorter, I think that's a couple years for a short term. So that's what we have in there. So you wouldn't have to pay them off right away. You could pay them off on installments through the end. Now that bond is still going to have to be paid off. So that's another issue we've got. Hopefully that doesn't happen. You know, we've had some issues in the past with getting contributions back and forth. Hopefully that's over. But that's what we have for those two provisions. For what happens if we terminate after full payment on the construction loan bond and attainment of title from the Eagle Facilities and Grounds. If we decided to terminate, the first option is going to be just an equitable distribution that the parties figure out how are we going to distribute. Each party would have a purchase option from the other party through appraisal, have a fair market value appraisal, and one party could buy the other one out. If neither party wanted to keep the facility, it could be sold to a third party with each receiving its equity interest out of the sale. Or there could be any other negotiation between the parties. So that's what we have. Those are the only changes I made after my recommendation in August. The things that are left to do for this agreement to be complete, and I think we have some of these things. We have an exhibit called preliminary plans, which we probably have those. We also need an exhibit to attach as a final design plan, which is probably being worked on. Legal and survey of premises, which we need to get done, mostly because we need to break that property off of our current, it's one big property right now, and we need to have USDA release that from the loan that we have right now on the Village Hall maintenance shed. And then a triple net lease with EFTA. EFTA has already approved generally has approved going forward with this in their meeting. My proposal is that I put the triple net lease together now before the 20th, get it over to Ryan. Ryan's gonna be gone the rest of the week. And he knows we're gonna use pretty much the same one we have with USDA, where our parties, not EFCA, will be paying for everything, insurance and everything. And at the end of the term of bond, whatever that ends up being, that will be when it triggers the purchase. At that time, we get the deed to the property. So I'm gonna work on that. What I told Ryan tonight is we do have possible action on this tonight. I would like the board to generally tell me if you agree with the terms that we've spelled out. Ryan and I will kind of button it up, but I wanted to kind of go over that with you and answer any questions you have.
Sounds good to me.
It's pretty cut dry. I mean, there's nothing, it looks out for both parties. There's one thing in there, I think the latest edition that Ryan sent out, or I got from Nick today, I think it came from you actually, Nick. It was what the rural fire district is responsible for, and I don't know if a paragraph or a couple sentences got deleted in there, that responsible for all the fire trucks and fire training and all that stuff. So take a look at that, Maureen, and see if that's.
That's missing from it?
Yeah, it was missing there. It was like one little sentence and then it just went, it was blank. So I don't know. So take a look at that.
Might not have caught you, right?
Just so that's straightened out. So it says that the role will cover fire trucks and all that for the village and all that.
Okay.
The one thing I gave Nick's got the plat there where we would like to where that property would break at. Terry brought up if say the village ever sold that property or whatever. That way, what we are proposing is that driveway is like 40 foot wide, the approach into the office area now, like break it dead down the center. You can kind of see it. There's its dash line in the red. I kind of put Marcus, you see what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Because that way, if it ever does get sold, it's right away where people will still get into the fire station to park. We can still use it both ways. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if we don't cover it, the village is going to get shafted on the deal too because they don't have the ability to. So, and I believe that'll still keep it 100 foot away from the building, if I believe that's right. Terry, am I right? Pretty close. I know we got to do that 75 foot setback, probably. Well, that's a side setback. I would consider that. I don't know. Second thing is, on that plat right there, we got to move that building another 3 foot to the west. They thought it was zoned, what was the original zoning, I think, the civil engineer thought.
They thought it was commercial.
It's industrial. So we have to kick it back that 3.5 foot, which is nothing, that doesn't hurt us on anything we have, there.
That's what I wondered.
I don't know.
So,
I saw the red lines in the email.
so Maureen, understanding you right, do you think there's a chance that, that interlocal would be good to go? So I have a real board meeting next week.
Yeah.
To try to
So
get that signed off.
I sent him over to him today.
Okay,
He told me he's on the road, not gonna be around till next week.
okay,
I'm gonna look at it one more time
okay,
and tweak it, because I saw he had my address wrong.
okay.
Little things. What day is your meeting?
Tuesday.
Okay, so you might see with Brian if he's gonna be able to look at it one more time.
Yep.
before your meeting.
Yep, because, and we trust what you guys are doing,
Yeah.
Maureen, we totally trust. So, because we'd like to get the interlocal passed at our meeting next week. And then for
And I
you,
don't know if I can get the triple net lease part together.
that's probably fine, you know what I mean, at least it gets our interlocal going, so October 20th, you guys can sign off on the interlocal. Prints, guys, what do you guys really want to see for prints? I mean, basically, it's the design that everybody, you know what I mean, that you have. It's the room layouts, nothing changed. I don't think you want to see structural prints or is that what you want to try to see? I mean, it's going to be
Are
probably.
you going to have those?
They're probably, I'm gonna be honest with you, I talked to him yesterday and they thought maybe
I'm guessing it'd be late in that third week, I'm guessing, or fourth. Yeah, he thought maybe the 25th.
We don't need the final ones to go to bid for this. We just need
Yeah,
something that's.
And basically, it's gonna be, is it the floor plan and the exterior and the civil print? Is that what you guys are kind of looking at? You guys tell me.
Because
I
we're
mean-
going to vote, I think the plan says that before we go to bid, we're going to okay it.
Yes,
We're gonna do it piece by piece, just the preliminary kind of stuff
Yep.
for the attachment thing.
so right now my timeline is hopefully we can get this passed the next 2 weeks, or between the next two, our meeting and your guys' meeting. And then I should have final prints by the end of the month. I will run through those to find anything, you know what I mean? Any little errors or that's wrong, go through part of the spec book to see what we have. So when it goes out for bid, there's nothing. We're looking probably at the first week of November to actually send it out for bid. So, and then we would probably have it due back 3 weeks after that. I've been having conversations with the bond company. So the good point about the bonds are the interest rates are dropping slowly and slowly and slowly for us. So it's actually helping us out. So if we get 1% out of it, it's $300,000 off this whole thing. So right now I have it set up. Let me pull that up. It was. We try to pull bonds out probably in January. We would have our first interest payment due, like it would be the July 1st. So that first interest payment of 26, and it would be for you guys probably, I think it was like 50 grand, so maybe 12,000, 14,000, something. Okay. The first actual true payment, principal payment, wouldn't be until actually the January 1st of 28. So we'd have, so everybody could get stuff caught up. I have to get some stuff caught up on the rural part because I don't pull bond money and it didn't go. So that's the problem. And pulling bond money in January is kind of a pain in the butt because I'm not getting too much on my, for taxes. So right now, what she sent me were, let's see here. If I go off my preliminary timeline, we'd figure out the price. They'd start selling bonds at interest rates the end of November. And then we would turn around, the district would sign the paperwork for the bond the 1st. And then we'd settle with the bond. We'd get bonds probably, the proceeds the first week of January. Now, if it looks like the interest rates are dropping off, and we're going to bid this thing in November with the start of March, a March construction start. So that's going to be part of the deal when we bid that thing out, so everybody knows. It all depends with my steel package, steel building part, because sometimes I got to throw $300,000 down on that to get them to start doing drawings and get that thing ready to go. So if I can delay the bonds, I will keep on delaying the bonds if I can till February or March. You know what I mean? Just because hopefully we gain another point. You know what I mean? We just don't know. So right now with that, your payments would look at right about $65,000 a year with your total payment a year. That's what you're looking at right now.
Sounds good.
Questions on that? That site plan, and Marcus, I think you had it right there.
Yep.
If you wonder why there's a chunk of concrete missing right here, and Nick has this plan. See that chunk of concrete right there that's missing?
Yep.
That'll get poured as a second thing. I want that to go all the way out. If we disturb, this disturbs more than an acre, and it puts us in the SWIFT protection program, which will cost us another $25,000. So if I eliminate that chunk and we add it later, we don't have to pay $25,000. So I'm just trying to save us any penny I can. So.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Maureen, did you find that paragraph I was looking at? Did you see that?
No, I really can't. 'Cause
Okay.
what I printed out, what he printed out doesn't show the red line.
Okay.
Yeah, it
So-
didn't print out correct. Hers looks different than ours, but hers looks like it's correct.
Okay, if it's correct there.
Do you have it?
No, I got it just like he emailed me. So,
I'll tell you where I think you're expecting to be. In mine, it's green. Operation and responsibilities of the district on page 14. Yes, it's my page 14.
They were probably.
Yeah, the pages are different too. Not printed. Sometimes when you print, yeah. it
Top
needs
of
to be-
page 15. District shall be responsible for recruiting, training, supervising, and so on.
okay, so then the one I must have had is on that area, so.
It's on the top of 15.
Yeah, because it should have been something that had fire trucks, we just supply the fire trucks and training for the firefighters.
Yeah, emergency, the responsibility of the village, the responsibilities of the fire, training, supervising. This includes providing necessary equipment, resources, ensuring compliance with health and safety and effective systems for fire. And rescue is provided by the village. Yeah, if there's something that you think is missing and you saw in a previous one.
Yeah, and let me run through it tomorrow morning. Do you care if I just email you? If you want me, you pop
That's
it in.
fine.
I just want to make sure that the village is covered on that part. I just seen it was,
If you want me to specifically say trucks, I don't see that in there.
our last interlocal had that the rural fire district would supply any of the fire training, the fire trucks and that, or kind of the same along the lines of what you have for the village. The village supplies the rescue training, the ambulances, you know what I mean?
Well, and I think we just don't say trucks and ambulance. We say necessary equipment for each of
Okay,
those services.
and that's fine. If
And I
you guys
can
think
add
that's
that.
legally, I just want to make sure everybody's covered on that. I just didn't want to know before there for us. I just want to there for you guys. And I would say, you know, that, hey, if we get in a disagreement, I mean, I would say after this whole station is probably paid off in 20 years, it'll probably be to the point of we'll move more to a suburban rural fire district, if that makes any sense. And then once that would happen, then it would actually set up a whole different board. And then it would be just basically its own division with the village and with the rural. And then everybody would just pay that tax, if that makes, everything would be, that's what Waverly is going to. So you got 2 members from the rural, 1 member, 2 members from the village, and then 1 odd member in there, and that's what they're going to do. Once you start hitting that population of 3,000, somewhere around there, it's a lot of people are looking at that. So, if that's 20-some years down the road, and I'm not even worried about it, I probably wouldn't be on fire. So, but the good part is we got a good jump start on it because we're paying for the building half and half. So when that day comes, if it ever comes, you know what I mean? Everybody's been there happy. So,
Do you need a motion or anything tonight?
Yeah, if we put it on the agenda to finalize it after the road closes, that's fine.
okay. So I'll make sure I'm here the 20th with that, and then I'll make sure we got the latest and greatest footprints I can give you. You know, like I said, it's pretty much standard, nothing fancy. So just like we like it, you know.
The parking on the south side of the building, how much concrete north to south is that?
North to south. So it's one way. So did you see that?
Yeah, and so this person's gonna have to back all the way, just so no
so
one
you see
backs
this
it.
rock road?
Yep,
We just put a rock road back here.
so they're gonna go around.
Yep.
Okay.
I just had to maximize any parking I could around
Yep.
here, and that was the best way I could maximize it.
So going back into the building.
Yeah, that was the thing. I didn't know what else to do. It gets pretty
Yeah.
steep, but then I didn't want to put a curb here because that way, when you guys push snow, it can just go
Push it
straight off
off.
into the ditch.
Yeah.
So this plan, there actually you'll see it like some of those concrete bump stops or whatever out here, but there's going to be no curb. It's going to be straight out, so handicap accessibility or anything like that. So, the one thing at some point someone will have to decide is, I know we're talking about putting some speakers in the ceiling and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys really plan on using that for the meeting room. For the time being, you will when this is getting remodeled. But I don't know if there's anything that you guys really low voltage lines need added. I'm just, you know what I mean, trying to make sure everything's crossed off. So if you guys think anything you guys may need for it, would you guys let me know by next meeting or whatever? Because I could fine tune that into the print then before it goes up.
Probably our locks.
The goal is to take these two.
I'm just saying they should be wired.
Yeah, so we're gonna take
So it don't
these
look
two
like
that we
that.
have, the ones that we just put on, and then we'll probably add a third one over there, on those. And then, yeah.
And some security cameras.
Yep. And that's a question, do we wanna put all new security cameras in there, and then leave the ones you got here, what's your guys' I mean,
I would
the
say
ones you
that.
have here are property of the village.
Yeah, you'll probably just put new ones. We'll just probably put new ones in over
We're
there.
gonna want some here anyways, might as well leave them
Make them
here.
sit
Okay.
on top. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then the other thing I'm gonna throw a budget line in is for like tables and chairs in the meeting room and stuff like that, that we have in there. That'll be in the budget too, so.
You're gonna have a projector set up for PowerPoint.
We'll have actually, so right now, and this is between, not really the role, it's between the guys on the fire department, kind of we're talking, we're gonna put two big TVs that simultaneously go off of each other. Projectors are kind of dying out to a certain point, so we'll have two 70-inch TVs on each side that you can sit there and as a meeting, you know what I mean? I just didn't know if we want some an outlet or something buried for, you know, I don't
Internet
know.
or power or something.
Yeah, I'm just looking from the outside looking in. I just want to make sure we're, you know, it's so much easier to bury conduit in the floor slab and have it done right, and then we ain't tripping over cords. So, and I mean, I'm all in favor of you guys using that for, you know, meetings. You know, it's going to be a great public building, a nice building to have. So, and it's going to be, it won't have all this stuff in it. I mean, it's just going to be a nice theater. But anyway, so if you guys just kind of give me a little bit of list you guys are thinking of or anything like that, I'd like to get that put in there, especially for this system you guys have here. If that's what you're going to use or not.
You'll never be disappointed you put an outlet in somewhere, but you will be disappointed if you don't.
Yeah, I know, and they just have a couple. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah. And then the monument sign, I already talked to Rick about that. We're kind of looking at an area for that. That'll sit as you pull in to, I would say, in between the fire station and the village building now. It'll sit right there with the big flagpole, the bell on it. And I don't know how fancy we want to get with that. Any input is up to you guys. We thought about selling bricks, memorial bricks. So people could donate and basically pay for the sign, and you could have whatever memory of somebody or in memory. I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm just throwing stuff out, guys. So,
Sounds good.
okay, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Number 10. Discuss possible action to approve a special event permit and closure of East Street between 5th and 6th on October 25th from 9:30 until the end of an auction event. And the page you have in your packets is just the front page. It did get signatures. I left it over there. There's really only two other properties that are affected, and they both signed off. So, but they're going to bring a lot of stuff out. There's a lot of older stuff in there for sale.
Household items will be sold on the street, that's the problem.
Are they selling the house or just the
They
contents
will
in?
sell the house too.
House too,
Did
that's
they
what I
pay?
thought.
Did they pay the permit fee yet?
Now,
Okay. We'll call them back in for that.
I'll motion to approve the special permit, event permit for the closure of East Street between 5th and 6th.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
I understand his motion, but should it include any date of anything tomorrow?
Yeah, October
We did not
25th,
Put any of that in there, so.
yeah. October 25th, 2025, from 9:30 until the end of the auction event.
Thank you.
Okay, voting on motion second to approve the special event permit and closure of East Street between 5th and 6th on October 25th from 9:30 a.m. until the end of the event, the auction event. Voting, John,
Yes,
Dan,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. Number 11, discuss possible action to approve the use of green space east of the Eagle Pool for parking and registration as part of the 2025 Husker Hundo Bike Race. I'll let Terry take this and I'll let you talk to him.
So, the last couple of years, they've actually used right along the trail, a little bit of our property and some of the co-op property, just a small area, set up a tent, table, etc. It was a juice stop, a rest stop that you could get drinks and take off again. This year, so this is going to be mainly a gravel ride from an organization from University of Nebraska. This year, Lancaster County would not let them ride on Lancaster County roads for this particular event, so they're doing it all Cass, maybe Oto, I didn't ask, but mainly Cass County, and they needed a new registration place, and they would like to use Eagle. So they kept talking about the ground, just the old co-op ground. And I informed them, I says, the co-op owns that. We can't say you can use it, can't use it. We have nothing to do with that. You have to talk to the co-op. I think they were quite concerned that they would not be able to get approval in time for the event. So basically I said, do you have any more, a little bit bigger area? I don't know how many bicyclists they're going to have. If it's going to be 200 or I have no idea. I didn't ask. As they came through, I don't know, it was last year, year before, they did not have a lot of people stopped at their juice stop. I'm guessing probably several hundred. But this will be the registration area. So I told them, what?
You have a lot of cars.
There'd be quite a few cars, yes. So I told them that a space that might be available, but would have to be approved by the village board, east of the swimming pool for registration, where we used to have the car show. I said, that's a possibility. You know, you can park down by the baseball field north of the pool area, you know. There is some street parking. If you talk to the co-op, maybe if it's not muddy, you can park on the co-op property, but we can't tell you that. So they're asking to be able to use the block area east of the pool for registration.
What day is this?
Saturday?
Yeah, the 12th.
The 12th. Oh, so this Saturday?
25th.
Or 20th?
No,
Right?
12th.
That's, yeah, the 25th is the day we launch.
25th. So, oh,
The 12th.
looking at the wrong one. Sorry.
That's this week.
I know.
Sorry. Yep.
That's,
Well, Saturday, whatever the 12th is.
that's 11, so, okay.
The calendars are behind you.
My,
Oh, the 12th is Sunday, the 11th is Saturday. So,
The what?
the 11th is Saturday,
Then
so Sunday.
I'm pretty sure it's a 12th. It's a 12th.
it's a Sunday. Okay.
So,
My biggest
It's on the
concern is
weekend.
garbage. Are they gonna bring dumpsters or is there gonna be very much that's my only concern about it, or my main
That's
concern.
only one of my concerns.
That's my main one.
you know, I didn't talk about dumpsters or anything. You didn't even know they were there when they had their stop. Okay, I don't know what they did.
Mhm.
I don't either.
There's a difference, Terry, between a stop
And
and
the
a stop and
registration.
parking. And if you go to item 16, hey, we have damage down in the park that was turf damage. If you're in there when that's wet, we very well may have it in this location too.
This area dries up a little better. Yeah, I agree with you, but at least this area dries up substantially faster, so,
There's still a chance of rain
There-
this week.
yeah.
That's like you. I just said I make sure it got presented, talked about. You can make stipulations, there can be no parking in the green space, but they can register. You know, bring their bicycles in, set up a table, register. So I don't care. I'm not writing.
I'm okay with it as long as they make sure they get the grass, 50/50 on the no parking on the grass part. I'm okay with whatever somebody else, the rest of the board decides on the parking part, but I'll make sure the trash.
I'd be fine with it as long as it doesn't rain.
Yeah,
If it rains, then I would say no.
I'll
That's
be
gonna-
solid by
that's
then,
gonna
if
be
it
good.
rains.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you let them know that if it rains, don't
Well,
park there in
so
the
they've
green.
got all these people driving in from all over the place. Where do they set up? They have to be on concrete.
They can set up there, but I would say no driving on the green.
Well, they've already said that. Just no parking on the grass, right? Right?
Yeah, sure.
Just set up their stands and they can get their bikes up there, but.
Oh, that would
no
be fine,
cars,
yeah.
no cars.
That would be fun.
That'll be presented to them.
Yeah.
No parking on the grass. You can sit, you have bikes. They're gonna have a couple tents.
That'll be fine, yeah.
yeah, 10's no big deal.
They have a registration of 75
Is that what it is?
Right now. Or total.
total, that's their max.
Oh,
So they
I just
have,
looked it up.
that's not bad.
No, and a lot of them will come together.
they might actually.
A lot of them will ride
They
out.
might actually ride out to it on
I
bikes.
think a lot of will, yeah.
Okay, I'll tell them, no parking on the grass. You have bikes and tents and stuff on the grass, east of the pool,
And they're responsible
parking,
for trash.
parking lot, and
Use the dumpster or bring your trash.
it's still, our dumpster's still down there.
It was full. I don't know if our
I don't-
guys have emptied it,
I
but
don't think it's been full for a couple of weeks.
Are they forgetting about it again? I'll have to call them again. Remind me. We should be getting it every Monday.
Just please clean up when you're done, and no cars on the grass, whether it rains or not.
Sounds good.
Okay, that's what I'll tell
okay.
them. Can't enforce it, but I'll tell them.
Oh, if we need a formal motion for that or anything, I think we'll just have Terry talk to him, so.
Sounds good.
Item 12 is discuss possible action, consider partnership with MAPPA to determine qualification for the Community Development Block Grant Program. Julie Smith, who was one of the development planners over there, had reached out. She sent an email to myself and Terry Todd, and you've got the email there. To summarize, generally to be eligible for CDBG funding, communities need to have a low to moderate income population of at least 51% of the total population. Census data shows the Eagles LMI is 47.8 and is therefore not eligible based on the area benefit national objective. She believes or wants us to consider as a margin of error in census data can be high, which we know it can be. Communities have the option of distributing an income survey as a means to qualify. So if we think Eagle has if we have a reason to believe Eagle might have a local census data that's inaccurate, MAPPA can help create a survey, so on and so forth, distribution methods, tabulate results, to see if we'll be 51% or over for that CDBG funding. We've talked about this in the past, and we've never been eligible for those sorts of things, but I know Brandy has a couple of comments, questions, and then if you guys want to let her go first, if you guys have any questions first, whoever.
Yeah, she can go first.
Fire away, Brandy.
Okay, so, can you guys tell us a little bit about, how this kind of came about? I haven't heard anything about this, so this is super exciting to me.
Just an email.
Just an email, just randomly popped up. Okay, so do you guys have any plans for said grant?
No, I think the reason she brought it up is they'll touch base with us occasionally, and I think she just asked what we were doing, and one of the things is like community facility construction, and I think that's where probably what perked her ears up to bring it up.
Okay.
If I had to guess, she didn't say that, but otherwise, street projects, always public infrastructure projects, but
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing we qualify or if we get enough turnout. That's just my opinion, but.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of my focus is, the community engagement aspect of things. So like, I'm wondering, how MAPPA would plan on doing the survey, what kind of community engagement is gonna be involved in that process. I'm also wondering, like, typically when you apply for a CDBG grant, you have to have a goal. So just like shooting it in the dark, you know, there were a lot of different issues with the needs assessment that were brought up, but one of the main primary ones for the one that I was able to attend, the second one, was in community engagement. So that's kind of why I'm just wondering. I understand that it was just like a pop-up surprise. Let's try this.
So it'd probably be down the road a little bit, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, and it would take some time to create the survey and you know, collect that data and then analyze it. But that's what I was wondering is how exactly that data collection would be conducted, whether it would be something that was online, in person, you know, knocking door, you know, going door to door. Is it something that's going to be mailed out again, like the needs assessment survey was done?
My thinking, and I'm not saying that with this, they probably wouldn't, but I think you'd have better luck with boots on the ground. You know, what I mean, any.
I highly doubt they would though.
No, I don't think
And that is kind of the issue with MAPPA is that they don't have anyone who goes and immerses themselves in the communities. So.
it'd be a mail survey. Eagle will mail out the survey packet to a list of randomly selected addresses provided by MAPPA based on they'd request the utility list, so they have properties from the list.
Well, and even for collecting, this is just me knowing how this whole process works, even collecting that data, you would need more than what, like for example, for the needs assessment survey, less than 10% of the village responded to that.
Yeah.
And you would need at least 80% of respondents to get an accurate amount. So I don't.
It'd be very challenging.
I mean, unless MAPPA suddenly has someone who is going out and knocking doors.
I don't think so.
I don't think that it would necessarily, not that, what MAPPA does in terms of the federal and state grants for CDBG and stuff, I'm not knocking them on that aspect, you know, they handle that way better, but like as far as like the actual community engagement processes, because once you start looking at something like that, like a big project like rehabbing this building, I'm just going to use that as an example. Say the estimated cost is $400,000, you know, then you have to account for the administrative fees for MAPPA to do all of their management processes. But you would also have to have a very literal plan of how you're going to use the rest of those funds. My biggest thing is that with community engagement being such an issue for Eagle, I want to help facilitate some of those things to get people more engaged in what's going to happen for whatever project, you know, whatever it's determined that it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Because the more people that get to engage with processes like that and feel like they have a say and that what they have for input is actually going to be considered, that's really valuable to anyone who lives in the community. So
Definitely.
I want to help.
Percentage.
Oh, about 3%. Let's call it 3%.
I've been here a long time, and hey, you'll never get 80%
No
of the
way.
people who return.
No, I just threw out a number, but it's got to be way more than 10% because that's not going to give an accurate reading. And like for census data and even American Community Survey data, the reason why the margin of error in that is so large is because they're only selecting small parts of a rural county. They're not necessarily going by what information they're able to obtain for Eagle. So it's a guess, you know, in a lot of aspects. So, I mean, from what I see in analyzing that data so far, I don't think Eagle would qualify either, but I mean, I'm not going to complete that kind of a survey throughout the village either, you know.
It doesn't have something to do with like the zip code area too.
A little bit.
So that kind of dogs us a little bit because there's some pretty wealthy subdivisions in our zip code.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. This is just my personal opinion. I don't think we would qualify. You never know.
Right. Well, and even with that too, say you don't go for the CDBG grant, there are a lot of opportunities in, you know, we'll use this building as an example, but a lot of opportunities to get people to come in and, you know, express how they would like to see the building used, express what they would like to see added to it or changed or whatever. And I mean, you suggested when we met last week, or maybe it was a week before that. But you know, inviting people in to come in, take a look, and offer their suggestions and things like that. And
We do need a committee of some sort to do that, because let's face it, Terry and I just don't have time to do all these things.
yeah.
So that'd be great, we'd love that.
Well, it's not. I called Terry earlier, and I don't want to. Maybe I should not go into that just yet, because I don't want to take all your guys' time. But I have all kinds of ideas to start building that social capital, and with that, I mean, it's going to be able to support a lot more than just people getting along and talking civilly with each other. It's going to help sustain more economic development and things like that long term. That resiliency and sustainability aspect that's where it starts, is with the people.
As far as for this agenda item though, I mean, I think we're all in agreement that we're not gonna meet that 51%, whether we get the response or not. So, I mean, there's really nothing we can, it isn't worth doing anything on this particular item. So
I'm gonna pass on that for now.
I'm thinking just pass on and move on.
Dan?
I agree.
I absolutely
Unfortunately.
agree. You won't get a 4.2% increase.
No.
in my opinion.
So,
Oh, that's what it was, closer to 4%, okay, yeah. Nope, no worry, then,
so, with that, so
no
let's
action
move
on that one?
No action.
Number 13, discuss possible action, consider a request from the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce to issue a letter of support to promote the completion of the East Beltway project. This is another one that's just a random email. They wanted me to sign off on this, and now I'm just gonna let the board decide if you want.
Well, one of the things I'd love to see, and it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand with this, is hey, have a turning lane at the Walton corner, so anybody that's turning south does not stop our inbound traffic. That's not being addressed by anybody.
Yeah, that's spot.
And that is one
Yeah.
major sticking point for the people east here.
Bad spot.
I really have no problem with this, and they'll probably run to the legislature for the money, just like they did the South Belt, but hey,
What this will do, in my view, and this is only because I was at the meetings at the Department of Roads when Dollar General went in. So I think maybe, did you go at that time? It was either Travis or John.
I think Travis went, I didn't go to it.
And so when we went to talk to them about the access going south onto Dollar General, this Eagle had to apply for that access off the highway. That was when, of course, we learned we have this wide corridor, the highway corridor zone for future expansion of a 4-lane up to the raceway is planned. And they had toyed with the idea of going south, of course, or staying close. And at that time, they said, okay, we want the village board to commit themselves. Are we okay just going right through town where we're at?
I
We're
remember
just
that
going to
part.
have a building corridor right through there. Nobody's going to be closer than so many feet. And that was the decision the board made then. What they also said was, at that time they were doing the planning, the 2020, 2030, 2040 long-range planning for the highways. And we talked about the east bypass. And they said at that time, likely if they do the east bypass, they will also do the 4-lane out to the racetrack at that time. That was what they expected would happen as part of that whole project. So that's what you're looking at here in signing on to this. Is that something that you guys look forward to having happen or not having happen? It will change things pretty dramatically here in town because they told us already that they will shut down some of our accesses onto the road.
3rd Street was one of them.
Yeah.
I got a feeling it's gonna happen either way, but I personally wouldn't sign us in favor of, when it comes through, am I gonna like it? Yes, very much, but I think it's gonna drive our taxes and everything up, and we're gonna be paying, I mean, they're gonna say we're using the road so we can pay for more of it one way or another, plus it'll inspire more people to live surrounding Eagle, not necessarily inside Eagle, so we're not gonna gain any property taxes, anything like that, but it's gonna, the value of property around here and land is gonna go up, which will make everything, yeah, it's already enough, and it's gonna make our property taxes go up. So, I mean, I'm not something I'm gonna promote, but
No, we don't have to sign it either.
This is not,
Totally up to you
they
guys.
don't have any arms to twist here.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
This-
no, it's nothing,
this is
it's gonna
purely
happen either
Chamber of
way.
Commerce asking
Am I
for
gonna
this.
like that it's
Yeah.
there, and am I gonna appreciate that it's there? Yes. Am I gonna appreciate not paying for more of it in several ways? No. So, not something I'm gonna sign on.
How about you, John, Dan? Something you wanna, what do they want from us? They want us to just issue a letter of support. Is it something you wanna do, or you just leave it alone?
Well, I'm not saying Marine's wrong with what she stated, but I'd like to see something that actually says, hey, part of that project does include the highway coming our way.
Well, and they won't. They just told us, that was, what, 10 years ago?
I know it
Yeah.
was.
And now, naturally, what's gonna happen, even if they don't do the pavement on 34 out, it's just gonna bring Lincoln that much closer.
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
Memphis. So we
Yeah.
know that's gonna happen.
That's gonna happen eventually.
It's no different than what
It's just gonna make
Indianapolis
it-
was.
it's
They
just
did
gonna
the
make it
same
happen
thing and they
faster.
go outside of it, so.
It's gonna make it happen faster.
Yeah, you only need to look at the south bypass now and how
Much
that's
it's
filling in
increased.
quickly.
Yep. And it's not Hickman, it's not real good. They're not really benefiting. I mean,
Subdivisions and acreages?
yeah, they're. So,
But yeah, this isn't a governmental entity asking us to weigh in one way or the other. It's actually the Chamber of Commerce.
Since I don't think they have the authority to give us our answers that we want to
No,
hear,
nobody
I
does.
would say don't do it.
And you know, the Department of Roads could tell you one thing and then we know their plans change
That's right.
frequently.
So we can just acknowledge it, no action taken?
Yep.
Dan?
Yep.
14, approve or deny minutes is tight for the previous meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes as typed.
second.
Further discussion. Voting, Dan,
Yes.
John,
Yes,
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. 15 is approved claims.
I got a few questions.
Let me break this bad boy out, I'll try to answer it for you. What you got?
So normally I don't say much about maintenance, purchasing stuff, but item 37, this Bobcat of Omaha hydraulic cylinder, the brand new Bobcat.
Am aware.
Didn't warranty, or,
I don't know what happened. Terry, any details?
No, nobody told me what happened.
They broke it somehow.
They broke it somehow.
So I'm kind of curious
I'm not even sure who broke it.
No, I don't know.
what that is there, and is that it could have been run that without, they could have used it manually. My understanding is they just up and left and went and got the part right away when it broke.
I don't know.
They used it manually for a day or two, but
Did they?
they called, they got the part within a couple days.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious on that, and then since I seen that, and then also item. What was it?
how old was our old pump that we used to have?
Item 85. They went to Harbor Freight and bought a trash pump. I don't know that it was an emergency, but we need to have our guys watch their. This isn't a free for all.
No, that was a relatively expensive purchase. I was kind
Yeah,
of.
I mean, it isn't a free for all. They decide they want something one day. They need to come to us with the bigger purchase. This cylinder should have been brought to our attention, and
Something
instead it was just purchased. And then same thing with the trash pump, unless it was an emergency. That should have been brought to the chair or somebody saying this is an emergency, we need it. But
The only thing that I can explain right or wrong, trash pump was, so that's what we pumped the pool out with.
yeah,
And when they started pumping the pool, there was no way they could get it primed. And I actually understand that because the one we had previously, when I first started outside, I think we used the one that the village had for 1 year. The second year, there was nothing we could do to get it primed. I tore it apart to see what was wrong. And the only thing that I can think of is that there was enough chemical and enough fine sand, there's sand in there, that it wore the belly of it
Mhm.
So it just look, and I'm guessing this is exactly what happened to the second.
Well, I'm not saying that we didn't need it. I'm just saying these bigger purchase, they need to come to us. And, we put on the agenda to be purchased, not for them just to go out and buy
Yeah, I
whatever
think
they,
that's pretty expensive.
I agree.
We'll have to remind them just about the $500 thing unless it's an emergency,
yeah.
you know.
And I'm kind of curious what happened to the cylinder on the Bobcat.
I don't really know.
So,
What's something we don't want to repeat, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they learned from it, that's one thing, and if they didn't, we don't want that to be repeated. So,
those were the two things I had a question on.
Okay, big claims on there. We get the commercial insurance package renewal at number what is it, 106. It's always a big bill.
Pavers, 133.
Avers is on there, yeah. So there's quite a bit of bills this month, quite a bit of expensive ones.
so anyhow, on the pool, was that our last mosquito payment then?
I think so. I don't think they sprayed in October, so I think that's all. Yep, should be it.
A motion to approve claims.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Going on the motion, second for first claims. John,
Yes,
Dan,
Yes.
Marcus.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 16, discuss possible action, damages to the church on the southwest end of Eagle Municipal Park.
what exactly created it?
Well, I can't remember, one of the maintenance guys had seen it, sent some photos out, and we had the sheriff go check it out, and he was able to find the responsible person, responsible party, and, this gentleman admitted to doing it. He was taking firewood back behind the townhomes, and I think it's really swampy back there.
It wasn't a bunch of kids down there.
No, it was an adult,
Being too lazy to carry the firewood around the house.
and it made a mess. And I honestly would have been down to see it firsthand, and Marcus and Dan for sure.
I went down there, spent
I've
probably
seen
20 minutes kind of stepping it in a little bit, trying to even it out, but it's still going to take some more dirt. I believe he tried to seed it, but it still needs dirt.
That's not gonna fill the tracks,
Yeah,
though.
it's not
We got
gonna fill
ruts,
it in.
we're gonna mow over those ruts.
Yep, it's going to tear it up and not cause more roots trying to get out of the roots when it's wet. They try to mow.
So I talked to Dan, and Dan wanted an agenda item on this, just to see how the board wanted to respond. We want to get a bid to see how much it would cost to fix that correctly.
The park committee kind of was in
Were you
agreement
on that too? Okay.
that they think they should get some compensation for it.
Get it taken care of.
Yeah.
I didn't get an incident report from the sheriff's department, but what do we do from there? We can just get a bid and
If you get
Restitution
an
would be
agreement
nice.
to reimburse you, I don't think that's a big deal. If they don't, you insist on it, then you go the other way.
so we'll start with the bid first. Alright.
And did you say somebody's gonna volunteer to do it, or what's the
Well, I think
vision here?
the gentleman had offered to fix it. He came in and he told us at the office, yeah, with me. But we didn't know he just gonna throw grass again. That's not gonna fix the.
No, it has to be done right.
There's marks where he drove right past the sign that says no
Yeah.
vehicles.
But we do that all the time. He said, this time we got stuff. I don't want you back there buried. So,
So I don't know, at some point maybe we need to think about some poles over there along that side, because I think that's something that happens quite often.
it's common over there. I don't know if
Yeah.
they'll just go further down and do it. I don't know.
Unless it's all fenced in, it'll be done.
Just more things for our guys to have to work around too.
That's true,
Or trimming.
Hmm.
If you you entertain him doing it, you're gonna have to tell him how to do it.
Have to fill the ruts in, and you're gonna get some dirt, and fill the holes, and then seed it.
Now it's sloppy wet again, so I have to wait a little while.
Wouldn't be opposed to him doing it as long as he does it right. We can get a bid and
Yeah,
give him the option,
yeah.
either pay for it or
You guys
do it
want-
to our approval.
Does the park board want to try to meet with them? We can try to set something up.
I think we should get a bid, and then, so he knows what
It's
it's
not
gonna
cheap.
cost.
Okay. I mean,
What, this is what we're looking at.
This is a bid from a lawn company.
Yeah, somebody that does,
like, I got Nebraska sod. Anybody else that? That's the only I can think of off the top of my head.
Would Eagle Nursery do something like that?
I don't know.
so there's,
Do somebody local,
Stoll Grading does that stuff as well.
Pinnacle Grading.
He does sod and dirt work.
He's a Pinnacle Grading. Dan, which one did you say?
Stoll,
STOLL.
yeah, it's over on Holdridge there.
I don't know. Some of these guys
There's,
might not be
Nebraska
interested since it's so
diggers there.
small.
Do they do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. They're pretty decent guys.
That'd be a good one to call. Somebody local. Yeah, we'll give a few a call. Get some bids.
Oh, good.
Start from there. Anything else on that one? 17. Report from attorney.
Got a little bit of activity this month. I think it was on there. We were reviewing the subdivision things a little bit more that you heard earlier on in the meeting. I have my prosecution lady went on maternity leave, so I'm taking over the prosecution down in Cass County. We've only been over there once for one arraignment for two people. The other two finally got served. They've got an attorney. We're gonna have the arraignment on the second one in 2 weeks, the second couple. And then we've got hearings set in November. I fully expect that they're going to try to use the defense of the emotional support animal being available, given the attorney that they've hired in Omaha. So that's about it. It's pretty preliminary right now. Haven't heard anybody say, hey, could we just dismiss this and we'll do away with our chickens. So that, I think it's gonna keep going down. That is about it. I think we've had some vehicle, I've checked some licenses once or twice again in September, but nothing major. And then, of course, I'll be working on the triple net lease and finish up the interlocal, so you can have it on your agenda on the 20th. Once we get this approved, we do need to have an administrative plat made of that land
Yeah, you
so
just tell
that
me
we
when
can
you
divide
want
it
to
between lot 1 and lot 2, so that we can ask the USDA to release the land the fire department will be built on. And they told us the fastest they thought it would happen is 30 days, could be 90, so we probably need to get on that. And we could hire one of the surveyors that we've got in the area to do that, I suppose.
So should I call him down, Maureen, and just get it going? Or?
Well, do we have the drawing set in stone? Has that been approved by the board?
Not really, not officially.
I mean, the drawing for where the boundary is,
It was
not the
mentioned
drawing for the
tonight.
building.
We
We
got,
can't really get it going until we know
Yeah.
where we're gonna draw the line.
I know where they want to put it, but I don't think the board's really.
So are we looking at approving that at the next meeting?
Probably should. Boundary line.
Yeah, we probably need to have some markers so the board members before the meeting can go over there and actually eyeball it.
Yeah.
Some paint on the ground or something where they think that line should be.
You gotta really decide the north-south boundary, which should be in the center of the drive. It's a 45-foot gate, measured it. You want it in the center. The considerations are, if one part sells ever to somebody else, how does that affect the other person's property? I measured 100 foot south wall of their building, 100 foot out. According to Luke, that is encroaching on where they want to build. Now, it's not encroaching on the building, it's encroaching on the parking on the north side of the building. He said, I don't care, you know, I said, 3-4 times a year we have a semi come in. There's alternatives, I understand this, but right now we have a semi come in, we unload them with the skid loader, whatever they have for us. They just turn around and drive out. And I'd kind of like to, I personally would kind of like to see that type of arrangement stay. Agreed, if there's no vehicles parked in their parking spots and stuff, there's room, they can come in, but they will be turning on their property partly to get out the gate, okay? This is fine as long as we own our part and they own their part, but if ever, this is what I always say, you gotta look in the future, okay? Not 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you gotta look. Do we want a problem down the road or do we want to fix the problem? I don't care, okay? I had a visit with Luke a couple weeks ago, and I says, it would really be nice for you to stay south of the gate. And I explained why. It was trucks and snow removal. We could even keep our recycle units against the west fence. There'd be plenty of room. Yes, there's still room because we can use their parking space and drive. You know, we can use it until it's not theirs.
So those are the considerations you should make, and I think we need to get that decision made. My bottom line is, these are gonna be two separate properties ultimately. We don't know if the village is gonna own where we're at forever. We don't know that the fire department's gonna be in the other space forever. There could be a chain link fence put up between the
That's
properties. So we have to assume that they need to be segregated and both of them need to be functional. So, yeah. I don't have anything else.
Questions from Maureen?
I have a question for you. Do we have anything in the ordinance against our residents blowing all the grass out the street? I mean, we've got a few people that take their whole
I don't
yard
think we have anything specific.
and cover the whole street.
Yeah, I think we need to get something. Other communities have it where it's very specific. We could research that a little bit. Have Maureen look at it, come up with an
It's like-
ordinance.
Yeah, it's like snow removal or whatever along those lines.
Yeah,
Not littering in the street. I suppose it's littering, but we'd want to make it more specific, I think.
so I know, like, the
There's
city of
several.
Lincoln has a written where you can't take snow off of one property and push it onto another. All the snow that's on your property needs to stay on that property.
Let me look into that, Dan, and we'll.
But that's the area it would be in. We put it in the nuisance.
Yeah.
The question I have, what is the penalty? How do you enforce it?
Like we know it's them,
Otherwise, why make it if you cannot enforce it?
because even if you know it's them, you have to see them do it or something. I don't know how that part works.
See, I put that on the water bill this last time, do not, and it almost, I mean, we both have noticed, it was almost like it said, you can, because we saw a lot more in the last 2 or 3 weeks than what we saw a month ago.
And it's ridiculous in some spots. I agree with you. It's bad.
There's people that let their yard grow for a month and then they windrow it all on the street.
Yeah. And, you know, it's fine to blow up in the street, but turn around and blow it back on your property
Yeah.
when you're done, and they quit doing that.
You need to have a community broom. Say, hey, we got a broom for you. Come on down and pick it up.
And if our guys see it, they will.
Yeah, I
they'll
mean,
go
the
back.
nuisance enforcement is difficult because, as you know, it's a 5-day notice
That's a pain in the butt, yeah.
before we take action. Now, the one that you can't, and we'd have to kind of look at it, the one that is immediate, I think it's 20 24 hours is garbage.
Yep.
So if we can somehow pull it into that, that's possible. But then we're doing it, assessing against them. How long is that gonna take? 10 minutes? It's annoying mostly.
Yeah, you wish people would just shape up on something like that.
Is that really any different though than having a ton of pine needles fall on the street and then get wet like they did this last weekend? I mean, hey, that's just as slick as grass is, if not worse.
Yeah.
The grass will turn to mush, those pine needles won't.
I'm with Dan, it irritates me, but you're gonna have to have some quick financial penalty, otherwise the resolutions, it doesn't solve the problem unless there's a penalty that makes sense and it's fast.
And that, and we just don't have that ability with the governmental entity. It's easy.
And the sheriff's not gonna do much, they have to witness it happening. You can assume it's them, yeah, it probably was, but they don't see it happening.
Well, on a crime.
Yeah.
On a nuisance, if it's gonna be obvious it's coming off that property.
Okay.
But what we've also noticed is the extreme number of people are parking over the sidewalks.
Yes.
And
We're gonna work on that.
we send letters, but
Well, yeah, we're gonna go as, we noticed Terry and I chipped today, cause we didn't have any maintenance guys, and we noticed several areas that need to be addressed. Parking and most there was 3, 4, 5 over the sidewalks, so.
What about low-hanging trees over the sidewalks?
That's a thing, that's an ordinance.
There's one just right over here. I got a duck under it every morning to walk the girls to school.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
on this side or?
Yeah. you could see the house from here. It's this corner house right here.
that will be cleaned up a little bit when we do that street project.
Keep looking, waiting for them to be outside, and they never are when I walk past, so I can't
I'll
see
take
them.
a peek.
Gonna offer to trim it for them, but yeah, I never see them.
Yeah, we got a few things we need to hit out there just from being around town today. Set some trailers in the street, things like that, so, yep, we'll work on that, starting this week. Anything else for Maureen's report? That was been good, number 18. Report from the office, just a couple highlights. We submitted the lead and copper testing for Triennial Systems, we finally got that done. Ahead of the September 30th deadline, test results have not, we haven't got those yet, I don't believe. Fiscal year 26 budget was submitted to the state auditor in Cass County. It took up most of the month. It's just working on the budget. Now the audit's going to be underway. I told them to give me another week or two to get kind of caught up. Workers' comp audit is also underway, which I'll probably get started this week. And the office began working with UNO students. They have some, and I don't remember the name of the class. They have some kind of a, it's a business, it's a,
Yeah, it deals with business and helping communities projects.
so they picked Eagle, and we're just visiting with them right now. We have another, I don't know if I call it a meeting or not, but another sit down with them on Thursday, so.
And we're, so they're looking at a business community related project, so we gave them a couple ideas. And that would be maybe helping us educate and promote a sales tax issue. Another thing that we brought up, which they really liked, was we have a hard time communicating in the village. You know, do you use newspapers? Do you use Facebook? Do you use Instagram? What do you use? Well, it's hard to communicate within the village. Give us some ideas. That can be your project. And so, we're just going back and forth. They're college kids.
Something for credit in class.
Professors there. And we've been working with a couple of college. We had the water gal
They should be out this month too,
this summer.
UNL, yeah.
And the contacts I think are good because sometimes they can help you solve a problem or come up with ideas, so an hour or two a month is, I think it's a cheap way to keep some good contacts, but the water gal's really, she could really be helpful when we look at an upcoming water project.
Yeah, I suspect we'll hear from her pretty soon again.
And this other group they had to get approval from a professor for the educational thing for the sales tax, but, yeah, that might be approved, then they can help us with that promotion or educational part. Or if he says, no, it's not fitting in their class design,
Do something else.
then do something else, right?
Second page, treasurer's report, total income for the month of September is $273,636.62. It's a big property tax month, that's where most of that income came from. Account balance is checking CD savings on the third page. See if Terry has anything or not.
No, I think approval wraps it up.
Questions for, comments for us?
I got a few things.
Sure.
On the next agenda, I'd like to see we put on there for getting some snow bids. We'd like to keep that open. I don't know if I'm hoping that our guys will be able to cover the snow this year, but
So contractor, yeah, you want to, I think, do you want me to reach out to those guys?
yeah, we can
Yeah.
reach out to the guys we had and see if they want to do it again.
Who was it? There was somebody else. That
We had
stopped in.
Neiman and CC Contracting.
I think somebody else that expressed interest, and I don't remember who it was now.
Somebody local.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a little more communication on when to tell them to stop, just so we're not wasting too much budget. Because, yeah, last year it seemed like they're going, yeah, just kept
Well, that
going
was-
longer than they needed to go.
Yeah, say some of that was probably my fault, and he would call me. I was the one that did the communication with that. We had that one snowstorm; it just kept blowing and
Yeah,
blowing
that
and
was-
blowing.
None of our guys were able to come.
None of
so
the guys were here, so when do you tell them to stop? I mean,
Yeah.
because it just kept blowing. I mean, we filled it in, so do we tell them to stop, wait, and no one can get through, or do you tell them to keep going and keep the
Well,
street
there-
open?
That was
I don't
kind of
think that's the one I'm thinking most about. There's a couple other ones where it wasn't doing. They're just cleaning up the corners, and our guys can clean up the corners when they come in and stuff like that. I think they're more make it workable, and then
Well, I can,
our guys can do the cleanup stuff.
I can communicate that with whoever we select, or I'm hoping that our guys can cover some. Of
Yeah,
that
that's
too.
what they can keep most of it. But
Then also, I've let them know, Nick, that we can take the volleyball nets down. And
yeah, I think Bryce mentioned that.
I have our guys ordered the pool covers in there for the plastic covers that go on the bottom pool.
Not that I've seen.
I would like to see that done before we put water in it, so that's done.
These are the flat covers.
Yeah, so our robot can get over them.
I haven't seen any invoices, so I don't think they've done that yet.
Yeah, and then I was down when we had our meeting the other day down there at the shop. I noticed that our cleanliness is a lot to be desired in the shop. I don't know that it's been swept and who knows how long. The inside of the vehicles looks like they've been that way for years. I mean, there's mud and dirt and everything. I understand they get used, but it'd be nice if we could, on the days off or the days that we aren't real busy,
Rainy days.
they could be doing some house cleanliness. There's plenty of things down there that need cleaned up. And I'd like to see our mowers, power wash, and stuff off where they put away this year.
Clean up shop, sweep, clean vehicles. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
did the stop box get turned off on that hydrant by the volleyball courts?
Yes.
Yeah, I brought that up as well.
I think it would shut off and winterize.
Did our pool coating guy, is he still gonna make it out this fall?
It's not looking good.
No? Okay.
I mean, we're running out of time pretty fast.
I-
But he said we could fill it up to that point still, so I guess we could go a little ways.
Under work list, I updated it last week at some point, and so I've got the volleyball nets. I've got filling the starting to fill the pool the last week of October. So they can fill it up to there and stop for a while, but we're gonna have to shut the water off at the pool house. So by the 1st of November,
Yep.
they're pretty much out of luck.
Parks and Rec is having like a pumpkin painting thing on the 19th, I think, from 4 to 6.
And a litter pickup also.
There's a litter thing coming up too.
Yeah,
Parks and Rec is
pumpkin
like
on the
a-
19th, pumpkin painting at the park at 4 o'clock. And then if anybody wanted a litter pickup,
13th at 5
what's that?
p.m. 13th at 5 p.m.
13.
The litter pickup.
Yep, right there, yeah. 5 p.m. litter pickup.
I don't think she passed that one on to me, so I might put that on the, what day is the 13th?
13th,
At 5 p.m.
Yep.
Litter cleanup. I might add that to the Facebook page then. Cool. That's all I know. Anything else?
You still need the vision, right?
yes. All right, Thursday we have a meeting, this Thursday.
Is that it?
I think so.
Meeting adjourned, 8:42.